Keralites are known to be cocky, cryptic in questioning, never taking anything at face value, ever seeing a conspiracy behind everything in the universe. So it should come as no surprise that a largish number of Christians in Kerala are questioning the Pope. Yes, Pope Francis. For those not in the know, there's a scorching dispute going on in the Syro-Malabar church in Kerala, a church of about 5 million faithful. Believe it or not, about how Mass should be celebrated. Yes, 2000 plus years after Jesus Christ's crucifixion. The Ernakulam-Angamaly archdiocese wants the priest to face the people during Mass, while the official faction and the Pope want the priest to face the altar. Now, you don't order Keralites around. You do that, they'll do the exact opposite. Pope Francis did just that mistake. Last year, he sent a papal delegate, Cyril Vassal, to Kerala. When he turned up in church with police protection, he was heckled and water bottles thrown at him. Recently, a new ultimatum was served on the rebels to fall in line by July 3rd or else. Now, that deadline has come and gone, with the Ernakulam-Angamaly faction agreeing to have only one Mass that is altar-facing. Come to think of it, there's no reason why the Pope and the Vatican should be at loggerheads with Kerala. The state as a whole and its Christians have so much in common with the Pope and the Vatican. The Vatican is a tiny independent city-state and an enclave within Rome, but it believes it has the same global influence like it had some 5 or 10 centuries ago. Kerala is quite the same. It thinks it wags India, setting milestones for the country to follow, from literacy and longevity to IT parks and migration. Take politics and you see the same parallel between the Pope and Kerala. Democracy is not in good health in the world today, Francis said this week. That's quite what the left in Congress in Kerala, the LDF and the UDF feel about India. That democracy is not in good shape here. With a difference though, Kerala believes that democracy is in good shape in Russia, China, Venezuela and Cuba. Pope Francis calls for ceasefire in Gaza occasionally. Kerala cries for Palestine every day. And then Keralites find work as caregivers in Israel. Francis stoked controversy when he said Catholic priests can bless same-sex couples. Kerala was the first Indian state to have a transgender policy way back in 2015, a good 9 years back. Take banking and there's an eerie resemblance between the Vatican and Kerala. This is from 3 years ago. Former head of Vatican Bank guilty of embezzlement, money laundering. That's so much like many cooperative banks in Kerala, which now need divine intervention to stay afloat. So much so that when you live in Vadagara or Vaitila, you'll feel you're living in the Vatican, banking-wise. Pope Francis is a critic of unbridled capitalism. Kerala is a critic of any capitalism. So the war cry is down with America, down with Britain, down with NATO, and then queue up for student and work visas in those same countries. The Catholic Church leadership has its synod, the communists in Kerala have their Politburo, and the Congressmen in Kerala have their high command. I can go on, but to get the real vibe between Francis and Keralites, one has to take off his cassock, the chachado, there is a skull cap, and you find a true blue, soccer-loving Argentine Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Soccer connects Kerala and Argentina so much that when Argentina won the Qatar World Cup in 2022, the team's official X handle messaged, "Thank you, Bangladesh. Thank you, Kerala, India, Pakistan. Your support was wonderful." That prompted some to ask whether Kerala was a different country. Well, as in God's own country. And then who can forget Keralite Baiju Ravindran's Baijus roping in Francis's countryman Lionel Messi as its global ambassador. And then again, it was the Vatican that made Alfonso, the nun from Kerala, the first Indian Catholic saint in 2008. And in the latest, the St. Peter's Cricket Club, the official cricket team of the Vatican, has become a 100% Keralites team. The team is made up of priests and students who seek priesthood. With so much vibe between Kerala and the Vatican, why should some Christians in Kerala and the Vatican feud over something as absurd as where the priest should face while saying Mass? It should be like a friendly soccer match. One Mass facing the people, one Mass facing the altar. Kerala's Ernakulam-Angamaly archdiocese won, Argentina's Bergoglio won. It's a draw. This edition of Geometric View salutes two Keralites who were in the limelight on the global stage this week. One in a parliament and one on a plane. First up, 49-year-old Sojan Joseph from Kottayam, who this week won the UK general election, to be a Labour Party MP. Sojourn Joseph went to the UK as a nurse only 22 years ago, and this week is an MP from Ashford, which used to be a Conservative stronghold. Second, a doctor from Kerala, interventional neurologist Gigi Kuruttukulam, who happened to be on a Delhi-San Francisco flight this week. Which international flight doesn't have a Keralite on it? When a 56-year-old lady passenger experienced dizziness and started vomiting, Kuruttukulam got to work with the airline's medical kit and his own Apple Watch in the absence of an oximeter. Kuruttukulam told me, the captain considered diverting the flight to Alaska, but I reassured him. At the end of it, the captain gifted him a bottle of champagne. The doctor was neither cockpit facing nor passenger facing, but patient facing.